Lourens, Art and Entertainment, Marianah Lourens met Kuns en Vermaak. En ons is hierso by die Kunsgalery GFI Arts Gallery hier in Park Drive en dit is pragtig hier en die mense is net almal baie vriendelik en dit is so lekker om hier te wees. It's lovely to be at GFI Arts Gallery. We're in one of the top rooms. I'm looking at some aeroplane artwork, pieces of art that are hanging against the wall. I think what you girls will know better. What is it? Is it on canvas? Is it on board?
Canvas.
On canvas.
Yeah.
It's on canvas. And is it oil on canvas?
Yeah.
Okay, so now they can see it at a glance. Granny can't see it at a glance, but it's beautiful. Aeroplanes and colors, but all over the art gallery there are beautiful paintings and very nice sculptures and stuff. Now, what I want to do is talk to these three amazing guests of mine. I'm looking at Vuyokazi Khanya Cewu.
Yes.
Am I saying that right?
Yes, you are.
Did I even say the click right?
You said everything right.
Oh. And they call you Khanya.
Yes.
Khanya, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much.
Nice to see you. And then I've got Gloria Makochieng.
Yes.
Now you sound as if you're coming from Zim or Zambia or something like that.
Kenya.
Kenya. Now you see further north. Yes.
Yes.
It sounds like a further north surname. Gloria,
Yes.
of course, it's a beautiful name for us.
Thank you.
It's got such a lovely, glorious, Gloria and God is good, everything is glorious. And so, Gloria, welcome.
Thank you.
Can't make a mistake in saying your name. And Makochieng, you told me to say it. You say it?
Makochieng.
Makochieng.
Yes.
So
Nice.
it's got that subtle ear, or the IE, not like we say. And then I've got Sarah van Appel. Nou, van Appel, dit klinkt soos 'n Hollandse naam.
Ja, as Engels though. I'm as English as can be.
Engels nou.
Ja.
Ja, dis hoe
But it is-
soos ons Afrikaners in Afrikaans en Engels praat. Ons mix so styl so. Maar ja, so dit is van Engels, van Hollandse afkoms,
Ja.
van appel, so ek was 'n van seil.
Okay.
Ja. So ons is 'n goeie geselskap. You're in good company here, girls. This is always saying that you are in good company. The Dutch background, very hospitable people and so on. But we hear about your art. So I think, let me start with you again there over on the other side, Khanya.
Yes.
Your art.
Yes.
Describe it to me, because I couldn't find it because you're on Facebook, but you're on Facebook under Soul Art Creation.
Yes, ma'am. I love doing portraits. So if you look up on my art, you'll find a lot of portrait studies. That's basically what I really specialize in. I really love just depicting people in general. That's my thing. I really love just as I look at someone, just draw them, try and capture the essence of that person into paper. So even in sculpture, I do that. I also sculpt faces and stuff like that. But I really major in portrait studies.
So you do your portraits on paper?
Yes.
Do you do it with pencil or charcoal? Or?
I do it with pencil and charcoal and a bit of painting as well.
Okay, because I'm actually going to meet with a guy who does ballpoint
Wow.
on paper. I can't even tell you, it is phenomenal. What he does faces and features, body features. So what you can do on paper with anything, really,
Yes, definitely.
it's quite amazing.
Yes.
And what about you, Gloria? Your art, I saw a little bit of it.
Yes.
Both quite diverse. Your two pieces that I saw, also on paper.
Yeah. The slight difference is that my works are prints, and similar to Kanya's, mine are also portraits, but they're more observational studies. So I have one print of my mother. It was an observational drawing that I turned into a print, and the other is a self-portrait.
Okay, it's a self-portrait. Is that
Yes.
the one with the spoon?
No. The one with the spoon is my mother.
Is that your mother?
Yes.
Have you shown your mother?
I have actually.
What does she think of it?
She laughed. She found it weird to see herself on paper drawn like that.
Depicted in that form, but also the way you just portrayed her in that portrait, because I thought it would be a much younger person that was sitting there eating with a spoon.
Yes.
Okay.
Especially because it wasn't posed. I tried to, last year I tried to do lots of observational ones. So I got my family kind of off guard when they weren't.
Okay, so you do graphic art more.
So
How do you describe your?
shall we?
Yeah.
We're both in printmaking.
Okay, so you call it printmaking.
Yes,
making.
printmaking.
Okay.
We just call it print for short because
Okay.
it can be a bit tiring. So that's looking at traditional media before your digital era of print.
Okay.
So it's working off of copper plates, printing and engraving, as well as looking at printing from stones, limestones and all that. But yeah, there's so many different directions, and what Gloria did were dry points, and that's just using a piece of plastic, carving it into it, put some ink into it, and then it made such a beautiful detailed image of the mother.
So that was plastic
That was printed onto
Paper.
onto paper,
Yeah.
and then where did the plastic come in?
So with so what Gloria did was a dry point. So she had a piece of plastic, and then she would scribe into it with a needle or something, and then she would put ink into it, rub off the extra ink, put it through our good press electric lady, and the ink would then transfer onto the paper or through the pressure, and you'll have the paper.
So you still have to physically make the drawing and the carving and all of that. Okay, because I thought, that doesn't look like a print. But yeah, I'm looking at something of yours, Sarah. Do they call you Sarah or Sarah? They call you Sarah.
Depends.
Because you grew up English.
Yes.
Yes. And it's, of course, nothing like Gloria's. It looks like a bird. And it's very colourful. Of course, I just printed it out.
Yeah.
From the computer, but it came out, the colours, of course, I'm sure is really better than this, but it's beautiful.
Thank you. That was from, you can see on my Instagram even, and it's connected to the Facebook. All of my liner cuts I did last year were birds, and the liner cut is done with rubber, like linoleum that you use on your flooring. You would carve into it and then run ink over the top. So wherever wasn't carved will print. That was a book of 21 different birds, and that was signifying my 21 years of learning different emotions, using birds as a metaphor. And then I made that into a book, handcloth book. I did 5 of them, and then my parents wanted one in colour, so I watercolour over the top then.
Okay, so the emotions, you say. So do the different birds depict different emotions?
Yes.
And this one?
So the turkey represented sacrifice. I had many other birds.
Christmas turkey!
Yeah. Thanksgiving turkey, yeah. I wanted birds that were easy to connect with. So you don't have to think too hard, like the starlings. They're one of my favorite birds, but they represent aggression. And I've also got them in there, and they represent aggression and how one needs to learn to deal with it. So there's so many different birds, and it's beautiful to look at. Just after the year's work, it was nice to have a look at what I've done through this book, but also the meaning I hope would connect to my viewers.
Okay.
Whoever looked at it.
Yeah, because every bird will mean something to you, but to the person who looks at it,
Completely different.
it is the emotions that come up are quite different.
Yes.
As you both know also. Now, if I go and look for your soul art creation, Khanya,
Yes.
what will I see?
You'll see a lot of portrait studies, like from beginning to end. I've always loved doing
Do you also do
portraits.
themes or?
Yes, I do a lot of themes. So like you'd see in the beginning, it's more like African based, because that was like how that was my direction in high school. But now I've grown and I'm in a different path now. So you'll see a lot of different like representations of portraits.
So you evolve as you get older?
Yes, definitely.
And you can see how it's changed?
Absolutely.
Because emotionally, of course, also you put something different into it when you're working.
Yes, definitely. And your heart has shifted. You're no longer the high school naive girl that you used to be. Like
you thought you had problems.
Yes, like you thought you were so deep, but you were like so young. You really barely knew what life had to offer. So now you're more grounded, you're getting to know yourself, and it reflects in the work as well.
And you actually realized it wasn't problems. Then.
No, at all.
You had no clue.
Yes.
And what about you, Gloria? The emotion that goes into it.
I wouldn't say that my works are heavy emotionally or very deep.
Would you say humoristic?
I wouldn't say humorous.
Did your mom not think you were being very funny when you made one of hers?
I guess it depends on the person then. But when I make them, I try to give the viewer the feeling of intimacy. Like they're getting an inside look on my family and what happens behind the scenes in our lives.
Yeah, so it's also in a way emotional, the intimacy part, but it's like having a closer look at you, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course you look through your eyes, and as I said to Sarah, it depends what you see, who's looking at it.
Absolutely.
You know, and different. And what made you decide on birds?
I couldn't stop drawing birds. And when it came down, we were all in our third year last year. And during COVID, they were like, okay, fine, you got to create a body of work now by the end of the year. And I just couldn't stop drawing birds. So I was like, okay, fine, it's going to be birds. And then I looked into perhaps why a person sees certain birds and what connotations are according to different birds. So yeah, it's been interesting seeing the stories behind the birds, but also just to art for art's sake in a way. Because I enjoyed it.
Because and of course the art, as we always say, it's therapeutic when you do it, and it's therapeutic when you behold it.
Yes.
So it's for those who look upon your art, it's therapeutic for them as well. Of course, like music, we also find that therapeutic. Yes. And now talking about, you were third year, so now you're postgraduates, all three of you. And of course, part of the exhibition was for postgraduates.
Yes.
Quite a big, large exhibition, because there were quite a number of people. Just looking at all the names here.
There's 20 of us, and 4 different streams. So we've got ceramics, within the fine arts, we've got ceramics, the painters, sculptors, and then printmakers.
Yes, and because it does say it's variety and it's fine arts students, and of course it's got to be visual.
Yes.
But I saw something about performing arts as well.
I think that would be more the installation pieces and how they occupy the space.
Okay, so it's like more like depicting maybe a dramatic scene or something like that. Because I haven't walked through the whole exhibition yet, so we'll have a look at those closely. What I want to also say is that the exhibition is still until the 18th.
Yes.
So
through Arts Festival.
Yes, the Makanda Festival. So you can actually make a trip if you
road trip.
Yes, road trip and I mean, this is closed for those who are in Kaberga.
Yes.
Am I saying that right? Yes. You have to learn to say it. I say to everybody, it's very easy once you've learned to say it. It's just difficult if you don't know how. But Kaberga, and then you go to Makanda, and then we do the nice, all the performing arts, and of course there's a whole mixture of arts there, and I believe there are quite a few actual things to behold this year. It's not all virtual, it's going to be some virtual, But yes, we're not here to talk about Makanda.
Yes.
We are here to talk about GFI Gallery in Tebega.
Yes.
What I want to know from each of you is, look, you didn't just one day wake up and say, I want to draw, or I want to do my print making, because you don't even know print making when you're little. I'm going to start with you, Khanya. Where did it begin for Khanya?
With me, it started since primary school. So I've always was fascinated with drawing, especially because of my cousins. When they were in high school, they did art. So whenever they would have art homework to submit, I would also take my piece of paper and just look at them and draw as well. And try and compete, but I knew I was nowhere near their level because, they were really good.
But I'm older anyway.
Yes, much older than me at the time. So I would always just imitate them, and that's where it really captured me that, okay, no, I want to do this. So in primary school, I kept on drawing. And then,
did you actually have an art class in your primary school?
Yes, I
So
used to go
at least
to
that
Erica.
helped, I'm sure.
Yes, definitely. It helped shape a little bit of my art skills.
You were at Erica?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So then in high school, it grew more because we had a chance to choose art as a subject. So I chose that as a subject. So I was more exposed to art in high school as well. At the end of high school, I decided that I want to go into art in varsity, and that's why.
And that's why you studied art?
Yes.
Because you were already inspired in primary school?
Yes.
And so, by the way, your Mrs. De Vos, now she's whatever she is now.
Yes.
I've been on stage with her.
Wow.
The performing arts, coming to the art conversation, yes.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
And what about you, Gloria?
For me, art started as a pastime and a hobby that I did when I was bored at home with my sister. So
Were you also still in primary school?
Yes, I think even before primary
Before
school.
primary school, because you can get bored when you're 4 and 5 years old.
Yes, my sister and I would draw on everything. We draw on the back of coasters and on our parents, documents and things. If we saw paper and there was a pen nearby, we just... Yes. I think it was also me copying my sister.
Is she older?
I have an older sister, and I would do everything that she would do. And we'd watch a lot of animated movies, and those inspired us to draw and try to imitate that style. And I've
So
carried on ever since.
did you draw a lot of, say, comical figures then, or talking about animated? The word comical comes up in my mind because when I grew up, and you don't see much of it now, but you might have heard of Dennis the Menace.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And those are all, they're funny. There's always something funny in the animation things. So you were inspired by those.
I was, yes.
Yes. And because obviously your parents allowed you to watch and then allowed you to draw. Okay, so that started before school for you.
Yes. It did.
And what about you, Sarah?
My grandfather used to just doodle, and then I would sit next to him and we would just doodle on colouring in books and all that. Before I could even go to primary school, I remember just
Also
doing
preschool.
Yes, preschool all the way. In primary school, I used to be part of art club as well. We would do mosaics and different craft projects. And then in high school, I used to draw during class and get shouted at for drawing during class. And then I was like, Mom, Dad, I want to choose art. They say, no, you're doing physics, IT, and accounting. I said, no, I'm not doing accounting. I'll do the other two, but I need to do arts. And then it has stuck, and somehow they let me do it in varsity as well. My brothers did engineering and IT.
Did you have to study something else first, though?
No, so
they relented.
Yeah, they were, I was very lucky. I knew from high school that I need to do something in arts. And at the end of the day, we don't always land up in what we studied in as a job. And so I needed to follow my own passion. And my mom was on board for that. My dad as well. And so here we are.
Here we are.
4 years later.
Yes. And now, if people want to get hold of you guys, I know, Sarah, they can go look on Facebook. And it's,
Facebook, Instagram.
it's Sarah, as you say, Sarah Van, Appel, as you said, Appel.
Oh, it's
not
E-L.
It's not the L-E. Like the English apple. It's an Afrikaanse appel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they'll see your art on Facebook and they can contact you even through that.
Yeah.
Are you on Instagram or something else as well? Also the same, Sarah?
Same.
Sarah.
Yes.
I'm saying Sarah because the Van
Afrika,
Appel
yeah.
make you want to say Sarah.
It's okay.
But it's Sarah Van Appel. And Instagram, the same. And Khanya, obviously, you are the one who's got a different name on Facebook, and it's Soul Art.
Soul Art Creation, one word.
SOUL.
Yes.
ART Creation.
Yes.
And it's all one word.
Yes.
And it's not SOLE.
Yes.
It's SOUL.
Yes.
It's the soul.
Yes.
Not under your feet, it's on top.
Yes.
Okay, and it's Soul Art Creation, and they can find you also elsewhere.
Facebook and Instagram.
Instagram.
Yes. And you
Most
can
people
contact me
are on Instagram.
Yes.
Yes. And Gloria, are you
I'm on Instagram.
on Instagram?
Yeah.
And under Gloria, or under what?
My art account is Gloria_creates.
So the Creates. And that's on Facebook.
On Instagram.
And, but you are on Facebook?
No, not on Facebook.
Okay. So it's only Instagram.
Yes.
So it's Gloria Creates.
Yes.
Underscore.
And it's underscore, it's Gloria underscore creates.
Yes.
So
but you can also find me if you search my name and surname.
Oh, genade. For old people, but the young people, and you out there listening, I know you're young, so it's Gloria underscore creates, mustn't forget the underscore, the underscore creates. For Sarah, it is Sarah van Appel, and that's...
Keep it simple.
Yes.
And Khanya, it's also Simple Soul Art Creation.
Yes.
It's been so nice chatting to you, and of course, we do know that the exhibition is open until the 18th still.
Yes.
Yeah. And we're in July, and it is just by the park, by St. George's Park. If you drive around the park, you have to see it. It's big. It's a G, an F, an I. You can't miss. Come in until the 18th. It's open for the public. And what are the hours?
10 to 4.
10 to 4. So easy. You can come in your lunchtime if you have to work all day long. But people don't work all day long anymore. They work virtually in all sorts of ways. And you can knyp af 'n uurtjie om te kom na die hierdie kunsuitstalling. En dit is nog aan tot die 18de Julie. So thank you so much for coming, girls. It's been such a privilege also just to be here in the art gallery. It's so nice. Nice feeling.
Yeah.
And yes, I just wish you everything of the best with your art careers. And I want to say watch this space to everybody. So thank you. Time for me, Marianah Lourens, to say goodbye with art and entertainment. Marianah Lourens en Kuns en Vermaak wat nou groet met Arrivari.